Okay, in the last class we understood regression and classification, difference between regression and classification, like that. Okay, for today lecture we are going to learn about batch or offline learning and online and dynamic learning. See, whenever we are going to deploy our machine learning model into the real world case, there will be two cases, right? Either you are going to train and test your learned model batch wise, or we can say offline mode, and in some scenario you are going to use some online or dynamic type of learning, specifically in the case of cloud computing and all, right? Where your data is incoming at regular basis, like streaming data, right? Like your YouTube streaming data, and uh, your feeds from Twitter account and all, like that, right? So there will be two types of learning methods by which a model can learn at the time of real-time deployment, right? So in the batch learning or offline learning, it is understood that it is the traditional way of learning. For specifically machine learning process, it is the traditional way where you are going to train your model on offline data, right? That means you are having your data in hand at the time of training, and after training the model you are going to test it on some offline data. What I means to say, the data in hand we are having physically, right? That means the data is not dynamic. We already have data previously for testing purpose. After testing the model, if you find your model efficient enough, what I mean by efficient enough, that means it is accurate enough, it is giving you accuracy above 99%. That means that your model is good one, and you can deploy it into real world scenario, in where this model will predict something or classify something on the basis of incoming data, right? So that is called batch learning or offline learning. See, you can see in the image, first point in the batch offline learning is data at rest. What it means, the data we are having with us in hand, right? That means it is not present on in online mode, it is present in your system, and you train your model, you are going to train your model on that particular data only, right? One second point you can learn it, uh, one model estimated on all data at once, right? You are going to find a model, perfect model, by comparing different models available with you on that particular data. Definitely you if you are having data, you will train multiple models on that data, and after finding their accuracy, on the basis of their accuracy you will select only one model for deploy cases, right? It can be supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised. It could be any type of learning. Either human intervention will be there, or maybe it will be unsupervised, like you are doing clustering, or it will be semi-supervised, like we taken the example of medical imaging, like that, where we don't have labels for some of our data. So on that case also it is applicable. That means batch in the previous time, in the earlier time, when we developed machine learning models, we firstly developed it for batch processing only. That means we trained our model offline only in earlier phases. But nowadays, because the introduction of cloud computing and online computing, our data could be in motion, right? So at that point we 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 uh, we understood that we need some model also that will work, or that we can train on online data, right? So batch learning is totally traditional learning. That's what we are going to learn in this subject, right? But in online learning our data could be in motion. What it means that our data is a real time data. That means it is coming on regular basis. Either it is coming from sensors, either it is coming from online databases, or either it is coming from your websites where like Facebook, social media websites where you are, where people are sharing their information, images and all like that. These types of data are data in motion, right? Yeah, or YouTube streaming like that. That means your data is not fixed. If you are going to if you are going to use batch learning here, you need to collect all the data. Let's say if at time t1 you downloaded the data from the site on which you are going to deploy your ML model, and at the just after 1 second at time t2 the more data came from sources like sensors or your streaming channel. Then in that cases your machine learning model may not work properly or may not give you a perfect accuracy which is required. So in that cases you need to design a system where you you are going to put your machine learning on online basis. What it means by online basis, that means you are going to deploy your model on runtime, and at the runtime only it will learn from the incoming it will learn from the past data as well as incoming data coming from the different sources at the different time, right? So this is the main difference, that in online learning the data is in is continuously coming, or we can say it will be in motion. You cannot stop data, right? So for those incoming data you need to prepare a model according to that only, that it will accept those data on runtime basis, right? So it is already written there that the model is updated as data driven arrives, right? As data arrives it will learn more from those data and then predict something out of that, right? Like for example, if you have created a model for sentiment analysis, right? Or we can say recommender system. So you cannot stop your client that you cannot accept data from your users. It will come, by definitely it will come, and according to those data only you have to recommend some products or some services to the user. For example, if you search something like, let's say last day if you searched for best gaming laptop like that, in the next day when you are going to open your browser and Google, it will suggest some gaming laptops to you, right? Then how it happens, because in the machine learning cases we have to download the data and then train a model on it. Then how come this model trained in this less amount of time, when you have multiple GBs of data? That was possible only due to online learning. Whatever you are doing online, that data has been recorded, and that data has is provided to your deployed model at the regular basis. Not offline. In offline mode it will be provided to the machine learning model at regular basis, and at regular interval of time this model will train itself on those data, and according to those input data it will give some prediction, or it will give some recommendation to that particular user, like that only, right? So I think this is clear to you that in offline mode you are having data in hand, but in online mode you are not having data in hand. You have some data on offline previously, past data, and on that you selected, on that you train or evaluated some of machine learning models, and after finding best model out of those, you will deploy that model to current data also. And at the time of current data this model will predict some value according to current data, and accept those data and include those data into your training set, right? So this is how it will work, right? So does not, it doesn't store previous data, right? Can be all for uh, many of you, if you have worked with machine learning, once your model has been trained, you can download it for further testing purpose. Like it will be in I think .h5 extension. It will be in .h5 extension. You can use it anywhere you want to use. Either you want to use in site or website, or whether you want to use in application, you can do it once you have trained that model, right? And that trained model you can use anywhere in the similar type of application, right? Okay, so the online learning is sometimes referred as active learning, or it is feasible, or it is applicable in case of streaming data, where data arrives sequentially, right? Only limited observations could be possible there. So on the basis of those observations only, your model should predict correct value or appropriate value according to given streamed data, right? Or we can say active learning algorithm queries data sequentially. Okay, in like if YouTube have some query databases, right? Where the data are coming online at regular basis, the online learning can be applicable in that case also, right guys? So this in the diagram you can check that in the batch one this is simplest one, and but in the case of online it is first data, incoming data. After incoming data we add some current data, and model will predict something out of that, and we use those data for training purpose again. And after we trained our model, we will dispose those past data and we will work on new incoming data. Right? Now come to this diagram. This diagram is uh, depicting the difference between traditional and online machine learning, right? In the traditional or batch machine learning, you can check that first you train your machine learning model, right? Either labeling will be from human side, or it is available readily from sensor side, right? And we will do some feature extraction on that. This comes under your machine learning processes flow. After selecting one best machine learning algorithm, you will deploy it to your testing model, right? Now in the second part you are checking that this report, you are giving the reports to the machine learning model, and it is predicting something, or predicting different levels out of these new data, right? But in case of in case of online machine learning, you can check that you are giving some data to the machine learning algorithm. It will extract some features, and on the basis of those features, it will predict some value. After prediction, once the prediction has been done, the label revision will be taken place by some machine learning algorithm, and those data and updated label will be provided to your past data, will be incorporated with past data. And after several iteration of this, like this, the machine learning model will able to predict the correct label value for that, right? Now come to just a minute, wait guys, I think this is understood by you. uh, Let me stop.